Among the biggest issues faced by higher education students as Malaysia enters the endemic phase of COVID-19 is the rising cost of living. Ahead of Budget 2023, founder and president of Higher Education Malaysia Association, Howe, calls for the government to set aside funds to areas most underfunded, such as accommodation affordability.
Accommodations, food prices, as well as the transportation has become the crucial problems. I put examples in University Malaysia, one of them. You know how expensive is PJ, is Kuala Lumpur, Bangsas, and those areas. They don't really have enough accommodations for all the students. Now, it is actually a very inconsistent scenarios across all public universities in Malaysia. Some of the universities, they have ample and also affordable kind of in-campus accommodation for the students. But from the examples that I quoted just now, University Malaysia, they probably don't have enough, and it's so expensive for you to really rent rooms in PJs and this. So if you talk about underfunding, obviously the government will need to provide more funding in combating the rising living costs, accommodations and things, and of course, not just talk about providing them affordable things, but also opening more opportunities for them to involve in entrepreneurial activities, so that they can earn themselves a living, take responsibility of their life, providing more opportunities for them to work on campus, part-time jobs and things like this.
Meanwhile, youth activist Nurul Rifayah Muhammad Iqbal also expressed her concerns on the rising cost of living. She urges the Higher Education Ministry to prioritise the right things when channeling funds allocated under Budget 2023.
RM3.50 per meal, and then RM3.50 times 3 per day is equivalent to 315 per month, roughly. So I think it's a lot of money that we require in order for us to survive in university. And then RM150 from earlier, I think it's not enough because it's only helped us for a long term, for short term, not for a long term. So what I'm actually hoping for the government is actually maybe can think maybe can provide us, we're not asking a free meal or something, but maybe can provide us some initiative that maybe, if you don't want to help us in terms of food security, maybe you can help us in terms of in accommodations or maybe about books, perhaps, because during the pandemic, 2 years of the pandemic, we doesn't have any, I would say that money for us to buy books because everything is online, and in order for us to go to the library and stuff, of course, there are so many restrictions because of the pandemic. So when everything is going back normal nowadays, it actually going to make us, perplexed and worried about our, our journey in the higher education.